You're live.
Great. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to yoga. My name's Anna, and I'm coming to you live from the London Buddhist Centre. But if you've practiced with us before, then you'll know that we are in a different location today. So we are moving our classes downstairs to our breathing space shrine room, which is in the basement of the Buddhist Centre. And yeah, that's so that we can start to make space to use the main shrine room for in-person classes, hopefully later this month. So that's really, really exciting. But it's also really exciting that we are still able to offer these YouTube classes as well. So yeah, do say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Okay.
Yeah. Gurdeep from Port Talbot.
Oh, hi, Gurdeep. Yeah, welcome.
And Mark from Stepney.
Oh, hello, Mark. Yes, a couple of our regulars here. Yeah, so I've got Tara, who's helping me with the tech, surrounded by wires, just out of shot. Looks very, very serene over here. And then Tara looks like she is on a film set, actually. So we've got everything, lights, wires. Yeah. Yeah, so Tara will read out some comments and then she'll practice the class with us as well. So yeah, we're going to get started in just a minute or so. So yeah, do just make sure that you've got everything that you need to practice.
Beth has said, so lovely to see this room again. Hi from Finsbury Park.
Oh yes, hi Beth. Yeah, it is, isn't it? So I don't know if you can see. Well, of course you can see. I'll just move a little bit so you can see this beautiful triptych painting behind me by a painter called Arloka. And yeah, which depicts a scene with the Buddha at the center, surrounded by his disciples and some bodhisattvas. Yeah, so like many of you, I sort of didn't see this room for quite a few months actually, and yeah, it's really lovely to be back teaching here. So most of the yoga classes that we teach in person happen down here in this room. Well, or they did up until February. Although we are beginning to reopen the centre, and we are actually running some in-person yoga classes as well. So if you're interested in coming to them, then you can book for those through our website. Okay, so it's 12 o'clock. We're going to make a start now. Yeah, really, really lovely to have you here for this yoga class. So my name's Anna, and I'm one of the teachers here at the London Buddhist Centre. And I'm joined today by Tara, who is helping me with the tech. And yeah, I'm really, really, really happy to have her here. So yeah, the theme of today's class is opening the heart. And yeah, we'll have a series of classes kind of based around the heart this week. And last week, for those of you that joined our classes then, we were exploring the breath. So the classes last week were kind of breath focused. And I see the two kind of themes as quite interlinked, actually. So you've got the physical proximity of the heart to the lungs. But also this idea of spaciousness, creating space, breathing into something. And that's got a kind of metaphorical component as well as a physical one. Yeah? So physically, yeah, your heart is near your lungs, and if you imagine breathing into the heart area, well, it's quite easy to locate in a way, isn't it? We know roughly where the heart is. Then we've also got the more metaphorical, imaginative side, which is about creating space. It's about creating spaciousness and bringing something into our awareness. And that can sound quite abstract, but actually, I think a good tool that we all have inside of us to kind of anchor ourselves in something a bit more real, or a bit more direct is the breath, because we're always breathing. Yeah, for as long as we're here, we will be breathing. So what I'll be inviting us to do today is bringing awareness to the heart area, creating spaciousness around the heart area, both in a physical sense. So some of the postures we'll do will allow for that spaciousness to happen, but also in a more kind of metaphorical, imaginative sense, using the breath to kind of infuse the heart area with awareness. Yeah. So we'll start with a short seated meditation, and yeah, welcome if you've just joined us. So you can just set yourself up. You can sit on something like a cushion or some blocks, and then when you're ready, you can close your eyes. Just allowing yourself to settle here. Noticing the shape that the body is making. And anchoring down into the ground through the sitting bones. The two bones at the kind of back of the pelvis. So just having a sense of grounding the pelvis down into the ground. You don't need to force it, but just that sense of the settling of grounding. And then from the grounding there, the grounding through the legs, the pelvis, imagine that you could sit up a little bit taller, imagining a column running up through the spine. Feeling the breastbone, so there's a bone at the center of the chest, between the collarbones. Imagine that just gently lifting up as the sitting bones root down, the chest lifts and rises up. And then imagine that you are breathing into that space, into the center of the chest. With every in-breath, a subtle lifting of that space around the heart area. And on every breath out, there's a sense of the shoulders softening down. Just noticing any sensations around this area. And if you're feeling distracted or finding it hard to focus your attention, just notice that that's where you're at today and just gently see if you can draw the attention into the body, into the chest, into the breath. And when you're ready, just drawing that little meditation to a close. Open the eyes, just lift the arms up over the head, stretch through the fingers. And breathe out, bring the arms all the way back down. Good, a couple more times. So as you breathe in, lift the arms, lift the chest. And breathe out, bring the arms all the way down. Good. Last one, circle the arms up as you breathe in, chest lifts. This time come into a little twist. So as you breathe out, take one hand across to the opposite knee, and back hand just rests on the ground. Take a full breath in here. Again, feel that column of the spine lift up, the chest lift. And as you breathe out, turn a little bit more around towards the side. Keep lifting through the chest. Take a breath in. Good. And then come through center and change sides. So there's that sense of the column of the spine rising up. And then the chest lifting, the breastbone lifting as you breathe out. Good. One more breath in here. And one more breath out. Nice. And then come all the way through center. Transition over to your hands and knees. You can pad up the knees if you'd like. And then start to move through cat-cow. So on the in-breath, lifting the chest, soften the shoulders back, drop the belly. On the out-breath, press the floor away, round the back, tuck the head in. Breathing in, spine extends, chest lifts. Breathing out to round the back and just keep going, keep moving through these two movements of the spine. And especially taking notice of the in-breath, the little back bend. So feel the chest sort of slide forwards, the shoulders slide back. And then feel the rounding through the back as you breathe out. Good. And then come into a neutral spine, and we'll take a threaded needle. So pick your right hand up off the floor and then slide the right arm underneath the left side and take your right ear down to the ground. So that bottom arm, really press it down into the ground. Use it to help you turn the chest a little bit more towards the left. And then your left hand, you can step it slightly further out towards your right hand. Or you can reach it all the way forwards. So you've got two straight arms. Take a breath in where you are. And a breath out. One more breath in. And breathe out. Come all the way through center. And then go ahead and change sides. So sliding the left arm underneath your right hand side. Left ear comes down to the ground. So use your arms here to help you twist. Use the breath to help you twist. So you can either step the right hand a little bit out towards your left, or tiptoe it forwards and keep turning, but remembering the awareness, the focus is on the chest, the heart area. Couple more breaths. Good, and then make your way through center. And then let's take one more posture here, down on hands and knees. We'll come into a kind of puppy pose. So keep your hips stacked on top of your knees, but take your hands a big step forwards. And then start to lower your forehead down towards the ground. You might like to come onto your fingertips here. If you're on your fingertips, then grip the floor a little bit with the fingertips and create the action of drawing the hands back towards the body. So quite a deep shoulder opener here. You can rest if you need to. You can take the elbows to the ground. Otherwise, stay here for a few more breaths. And if you're very open, you might be able to take the chest down towards the ground, but we're just warming up, so don't worry if you can't. Good, and then slowly come up. Step the hands back underneath the shoulders. And tuck your toes under. Let's draw back into downward facing dog. Spread the fingers out wide. Lift through the hips. And you might like to just bend into one knee and then the other. Slowly bicycling the legs. And again, just noticing the sensations around the chest. Even if they're very subtle here, you might be feeling more in your arms, in your legs. Seeing if you can create a sense of breathing into the chest, creating space here. So as you press the hands down into the mat, press them a little bit forwards, and then lift the tailbone up and back. Lengthen the torso. Nice. And then look forwards from here. Step the right foot through to between your hands. Take your back knee down towards the ground. You can pad up that knee if you need to. So you fold over the mat, lift up the chest, and take the hands to behind your back. Interlace the fingers, stretch the knuckles back. If you struggle to clasp the hands like this, you can also take hold of your elbows like this instead. Otherwise, press the heels of the hands together, lift the chest, and then a little bit of a sense of drawing the upper arms away from one another. Take one more breath in here. And then release the hands. Good, step back. And then between sides, rock forwards into plank pose. Take the knees to the ground and lower everything down. So hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the elbows in, lift the chest and come into a low cobra. So it's like you're barely lifting the chest away from the ground. Take a couple of breaths here. Feel the back body start to lift up, start to switch on. Soften through the neck. And take a big breath into the chest. And then gently lower all the way to the floor. And tuck your toes. Press back. Come into downward facing dog. And then let's change sides. So step the left foot forwards. Take the right knee to the mat, fold it over if you need to. Lift the chest, take the hands to behind your back. Interlace the fingers. So the action of the legs is quite important in this posture. So that back leg is really rooted into the ground. The back buttock is firmly engaged. And then from there, the chest lifts up, the collarbones broaden. One more breath. And then gently release the hands. Step back. Good. And then one more time. Rock yourselves forwards, come into a plank pose. Take the knees down. Lower everything down to the ground. Good. Again into cobra pose. So just lifting the chest a little bit, enough that you feel the back body start to engage. Hug the elbows in towards the sides of the waist. Collarbones nice and broad. Notice how the breath is here. Take one more breath in. And then lower everything down to the ground. Tuck the toes. Step back into downward facing dog. And lengthening out the torso, lengthening out the sides of the waist. And then look forwards with soft knees. Step to the front of the mat. Come into a forward fold. Soften the knees. Let the upper body drape over the thighs. You can take hold of your elbows here if you like. Good. And then take the hands onto your shins and lift the chest up. So it's parallel to the floor. Roll the shoulders back, slide the shoulder blades down the back. Lift the back of the skull a little bit. Take a full breath in here. Good. And then breathe out. Lower everything back down to the ground. We'll do that again. So hands on shins. Lengthen the spine so your knees can be as soft as they need to here. Roll the shoulders back. Lengthen the crown of the head forwards. And then breathe out, lower everything down to the ground. Relax the head. Good. Soft knees. Start to roll up to standing. Keep the chin tucked in. Good. And then lift the shoulders up towards the ears.